You press your palm to the ghost of a smaller hand, faint, veined with the cracks Katie healed beneath your touch. It fits still, your fingers stretching past the lines you left at 4, reaching backward through time like a root, digging for the soil that first taught you how to hold, how to tremble, how to stay. You follow the sound of your own small voice, a whisper not yet silenced by survival, and you walk the 40-year trail of breadcrumbs you dropped before you even knew you were running. You were born into stories, not silence. A boy with a crown of cracked mirrors and a voice that refused to shatter. Your first breaths were echoes, from a shelter with paper-thin walls, from a garage thick with smoke and shouting, from a Christian group home cloaked in conversion, and a cat named Lupita who curled against your ankle. Even then, you were stitching together the scraps. Grief beside glitter, shame beside sparkle, melancholy repurposed into choreography. Some call it charisma. You just called it surviving. A flicker of eye contact, a raised eyebrow, a story told just right, and suddenly, you had shelter. You had GSA meetings in Planned Parenthood lobbies, nuns outwitting Nazis with song, ladybird with 3 legs and no shits. You had a pocket full of Zengalinks and strangers mailing you $5 bills like blessings. You had a way in. There were no clean lines, no polished resumes, just the blur of survival wrapped in the glitter of reinvention. At Tivana, you sold peace by the ounce. At the candy store, you sweet-talked luxury into lollipops. You could make customers laugh as you made rent. Not because you wore a mask, but because you didn't. Sex work paid the bills. So did eye contact, charm, and knowing which bachelor to seduce. Mary sketches your face, warm but haunted. Alessa's reflection still lingers somewhere behind a waterfall. Mama, your chaos and your cornerstone danced barefoot through your stories, spinning joy and shame into a lullaby only you knew how to hum. Hildy weaved a web of trust, saw your fire, burned beside it, and never flinched. And others, country singers, comedians, celebrities who handed you keys to the doors the world had kept locked. Even the squatters couldn't erase you. You told your truth to news crews, and they broadcast your defiance with every headline. How did it happen? You wake up and Pam Tillis is speaking your name like it belongs beside hers. Reese Palmer turns a Starbucks card into a lifelong devotion. Drag royalty follows your journey like a fog light in a brave queer sea. You built an altar out of essays. An artist came bearing gifts. Not because you begged, but because your stories sang. Now, your life is split screen. Hotel manager by day, memoirist by soul. Your boss hears your laugh echo through office walls and recognizes it as confidence. Your friends become castmates. Your past becomes plot. You don't just dream of Emmy-winning limited series. You draft casting calls for the actresses who will play your mother, for the children who will play you with all your bite and tenderness. You imagine her nominated posthumously through the mouths of many. You are proof that kindness is currency, that trauma can be archived without being worshipped, that being loud and honest can be a spiritual practice. You are not stitched together out of pity. You are sewn from purpose, edge by edge, memory by memory. Your quilt is not just soft. It is flame retardant, storm tested, loud as laughter in a room full of skeletons who finally feel safe to dance. Maybe it's delusion, maybe it's grace, but you wake up smiling. Still, you, who the world tried to forget, remember yourself boldly, daily, fully. This is your legacy, a calico quilt that never apologizes for its brightness, its tears, its truth. And if you're brave enough to reach for it, it wraps you in the warmth of every story you were told not to tell.